Felt a little bit of a break in the proceedings there due to some oil being put down in that last heat. We had to get something sorted out, and we've got it all sorted out now for BMW M Performance Parts Racing Series for their second heat of the day. 10 laps of action coming away from these guys, 10 laps still more from Kia Picanto Cup. And that will bring us to the close of the day's proceedings here at Supercars and Pocket Rockets, the Regional Extreme Festival at Extreme Festival's home, Swartkops International World of Motoring. Remember, the next round of the Regional Extreme Festival happens on the 13th of August back here at Swartkops. We have got a bit of action still coming away on the 2nd of July. That's National Extreme Festival action at Red Star Raceway. The 10th of July, we've got Thunderbikes and Brunch Run back here. And the 23rd of July, the Swartkops Annapolis 8-hour event. That'll be happening here at Swartkops International World of Motoring. So make sure you got those dates in your diaries. Put them onto your smart devices if you've got them in front of you right now. We're looking forward to the 2nd of July at Red Star for National Extreme. The 10th of July here at Swartkops for Thunderbikes and Brunch Run. The 23rd of July is the Swartkops Annapolis 8-hour. And then the 13th of August we come back here for the next round of Regional Extreme Festival action. And that is still to come here for 2022. Dan Howes is in the house. He's sliding in here like he slid off the track earlier on. But helped out a little bit by a little Honda behind him, I think. Huh? He admits it was all himself. We'll catch that action later on, of course, on Ignition. As we're getting into the closing stages here of the day's racing. BMW M Performance Car Parts Series out on track. And it's going to be someone who's not used to being on the front row starting things out here. Rasley Harris going to be starting things out here on the front row. And remember, it's 3 pages of timing that I've got to get through. So apologies if we don't get to the names as quickly as what we normally do. Harris and Fedetto, Ari van der Berg and Thomas Potgieter, Hillingen and Lorenzo Gauteng, Mark Jones and Nicholas van Sale, Baggioni and Ramsey ahead of Nick Macris. And that's how they are going to line up here for their second heat of the day and the second last race of the day as well. Bernard de Gavea, Nicholas Fisher, Sean Dodd, Spiro Macris, Dave Rees, Javelin Ramsamy and Jaco Storm are at the back of the field. But behind Macris you're going to have Rick Leroux, Jagger Robertson, Andreas Meyer and Vegan Naidu into 15th place there. So a little bit of an inversion on the way they finished up and a bit of a shuffle around as well. It's not really an inverted grid, but a bit of a shuffle around there on the race proceedings here for race 2 for BMW M Performance Car Racing Series. .37 cars on the grid, which means they line up literally around the corner. Unfortunately, it is a rolling start, so everybody will get a chance to resume their positions in anger. A couple of guys just trying to get some cool air into these cars. Those cockpits get very hot very quickly. Temperatures here haven't really gone above the 17-degree mark all day long. But when you're inside a race cockpit, it's a slightly higher temperature that, of course, will pick up dramatically. Barry Hubbard's in the house. He was in action only a couple of weekends ago. In fact, a weekend ago on Sunday in the Brunch Run and Thunderbike class. And Alan Brumby's just joined us as well for the last bit of action here from Supercars and Pocket Rockets version of the Regional Extreme Festival at Swartkops. That's the field. Look at it. Just continuing all the way around, down to the back, into turn 8, around turn 8, and then up the hill out of G&H Transport Corner. Look at that, all the way to the back there. Jaco Storm, True Wood Furniture is the last BMW to make its way off the line and into race action here for race 2. Baggioni, Lyle Ramsey, Nick Macris, Rick Leroux, Jagger Robertson, the German Andreas Meyer. Troy Cochrane coming through there as well, just ahead of Michelle Singh. Van der Maver in there too. Ari van den Berg on the 357. Doesn't look like it's got back on track. I didn't see. Oh, there it is. Just missed it there. There's a couple of white BMWs, and then of course this low light makes it a bit more difficult to spot them. But the 357 BM is back on track. He just managed to cross the line in the lead of the race, remember, with an ailing car at the end of race 1. So I wonder if they've got that car all sorted out now. The German will be looking to come through the field rapidly. Watch out for his attack to the front. Jagger Robertson will also be looking to do the same thing. He's starting a bit further back than what he'd like to be. David Oosthuizen in the 75 car, further back there. Looks like a bit of a problem for the 89 BMW. Just making a little bit of way there, allowing Dave Reeser and Javelin Ramsamy through. But we're now under starters' orders and see them starting to form up in their grid positions. There's so many cars on track that they're actually going to have to slow them down pretty dramatically. The pace car is staying out. Quite sure where the pace car is staying out, but the lights have not gone out on the pace car, and I don't think the man out front there, Rasley Harris, realizes that they're still under safety car conditions. He thinks they're going for a start here, and they are not going to be going for a start if those lights did not go out. So they'll get another chance to go one more lap behind the safety car. Try and stay in race formation. They're looking to go, but you can see the safety car is still there. So no matter what you're going to do on the safety car, it's still going to be red lights, guys. Harris will have to wait for the next chance to come across the line to start this one. This is one of the issues that you can have when you don't have guys at the front of the field who are used to being on the front row. That's the reason for the safety car staying out. And I saw that 89 car pulling to the sideline. And then they're going to just use that little Toyota Condor to get it out of turn 4's entry point. So we're not racing just yet. You can see now they've all realized that they're not racing. And they're going to have to take up their positions once again behind the safety car. They've all overtaken the safety car. So, whoa, a couple of fines going to be going out at the next meeting of the board, I think. They didn't think the safety car was out there for the restart, but it actually was. You got to wait for those lights to go out, gentlemen, before you can go racing, and they hadn't gone out yet. So that safety car is going to have to try and make its way back to the front again to bring them under control. Rasley Harris has got a pole position. He's taking it up, of course, alongside. Oh, there you go. Safety car's taking the shortcut. That's why. He's gone across the little joining road between turn 4 and turn 8. And he's going to wait for them to come around the corner to pick them up again. Which means we're probably going to have one more lap under safety car again. Red flag. We're going to restart this one. So it's safety car lights that have to go out before we can go racing, and I think that's what caught a lot of these guys out. They didn't see the safety car going down into turn number 1 and all started the race thinking that Rasley had missed the start there, but the lights were still on as well. So we'll do it all again. The one thing I was picking up on with the amount of cars that are on track is that, of course, the back markers were not bridging that gap to the back of the cars in front of them. And we had lead cars coming out of turn 7 while we still had the back of the field coming out of turn 4 up the hill. That's a huge margin. It's almost half the track covered by the field on the start. So Mr. Bean's going to have to give them a little bit of a warning here, I think. And tell them they've got to wait for those lights to go out before we can go racing. Going to just double check all the grid positions and make sure that they've taken up their correct positions before we go for the restart. The lights are definitely working. And they would have stayed on due to the fact that the safety car was still on track. So we're now going to wait for a green flag at the back again. And we'll go for one more warm-up lap behind that safety car to get them ready to go for race 2's restart. Mark Jones trying to get some cool air into his Sav Speed BMW. Looks like Oz trying to do the same thing as well. In fact, I think that might be Nick Macros who's getting some cool air into his car too. As I said, the ambient temperature here is still in the teens. Possibly even dropping down lower than that, but still hot inside the cockpits of these race cars. Not a lot of ventilation. Pace car rolls. Won't be too far behind that the BMW start to roll behind it as well. They come. 36 of them in total now. Fabio Fedetto in that M4 alongside Rasley Harris for the front row. 357 in the second row of the grid. Harry van den Berg, race 1 winner. Possibly looking for a double victory here today if he can. Watch out for the pace coming from behind, though. We've got to keep an eye out on the German and on Jagger Robertson, as they'll be trying to get through this field, starting down in 13th and 14th place respectively. They've got Macros, Ramsey, Bagioni, Funsell, Gearing, Funamava, Economides, Renier Smith and Michelle Singh to go on the attack with. Majority of these cars, as I said, in race number 1 coming out of the 3 Series BMW range. A couple of 2 Series in there as well. They had a 235i and that M4 of Fabio Fedetto. The majority of them have got some form or flavour of 3 Series. Here we go, this time, let's see if we can get it right. For the start of race 2. Lights are out on the pace car this time, and he pulls into pit lane. And it's now up to Rasley Harris to dictate the pace across that line with Fedetto alongside him. Watch for the jump coming from that second row. Harry van den Berg will be trying to catch these guys out if he can. Maintaining the pace until those lights go out there is what Rasley Harris has to do. And the lights do go out and we go racing. Thomas Portkieter trying to go along there with Ari van den Berg as they go into turn 1. Tucking in behind them. Got for some big maneuvers happening from that box BMW. Renier Smith at the back end just behind Michelle Singh. Troy Cochrane has got through on them. And you got Mark Jones side by side with Bagioni coming out of turn 2. Fights on as Trevor Long, the roof surgeon, has joined us into that mid-pack battle. Coming out of turn 2 and onto the big right-hander at 3. Big move there from Thomas Portkieter trying to find a way up into what is first place on the road. As we're getting into the first lap of 10. And M Performance Parts BMW Race Series at it in full flight. Harris out front, trying to capitalize on the fact that he was on pole position. Alan Hilligan coming through there in the 27 car. He's up to 5th ahead of Gauteng. Jones and Van Zyl with Bagioni behind that. Lyle Ramsey's into 10th. We've got Macris and Licklera in 11 and 12 with on their tail. Oh! Turn 8 action already. Little tag between the top two with 9 to go. Portkita losing out there as he tags the back end of Harris, removing that rear bumper. Hilligan, here comes Jagger. The German diving through on Lyle Ramsey. Michelle Singh just ahead there of the second pack of cars. That second pack, of course, pushing hard. Singh leads it out, and already some action. Oh, and another spinner. Is that the leader? It is. Harris has spun out. Harris spinning out at turn 2. And he's now trying to just get onto the track without causing any more problems for himself. But Rasley Harris, after that tag going into turn 2, went a little bit too hot and loses out as he drops right to that second pack of cars into the middle of them. There's the tag from Portkita's point of view. Just removes that rear bumper. He carries on though. Might be a little bit of a case of that he went in a bit too hot. Maybe he was just shaken up by that little tag. Hilligan under attack now from Van Zyl as they go into turn 6. Nick Van Zyl brings the German along for the ride as well. Andreas Meyer dives on the inside and finds a way through. So we got Arie van den Berg out front again in the 357. Mark Jones for Sav Speed Racing, just ahead of Jagger Robertson. Jagger's moved himself into the top 10. He's in 9th place. Behind him it's the 211 of Nicholas Van Zyl and then the German. Van Zyl looking to maintain possibilities of the front end of this championship. Here comes a move from Jagger on Mark Jones. Andreas on Van Zyl. Portkita hits the front, gets ahead now of the 357. So Thomas Portkita finding a way through there on Arie van den Berg. Lorenzo Gauteng still in 3. He's ahead of Fedetto and Osbagioni. The German now up into the top 10. Bagioni on the attack, looking for a way to get ahead now. And Nick Macris is keeping him out. Then you've got Lorero. It's Jones under attack from Jagger. Portkita leads out over Arie van den Berg. 911 is Lorenzo Gauteng. Behind that, it is the M4 Fedetto. There's a move from Jagger into turn 8. Can't quite get up the inside of that Sav Speed BMW. Problems for Macris. He's dropping by the wayside. The 48 car drops 2 positions into turn 1. Something's gone wrong there from his point of view. Alan Hilligan and the 27 car still doing well. Just outside of that top 15 battle. In fact, at the top 12 battle, I should say. He's now in 12th place. Good run here from these front end runners. Macris dropping by the wayside though. There's definitely an issue on his car. He allows Jones, Jagger and the German to get through. Hilligan all on his own. Michelle Singh, the same thing can be said there. Then it's the 00 car of Darby coming through there in the 00, just making sure. Darby Ulifir in that 00 machine. BMW taxi of Ribeiro comes into turn number 4. Back end stepped out there ever so slightly. It caught Manny out. And he's now under attack. Up front, it's Portkita. Portkita also running M4. And oh, safety car out of nowhere. That's the reason for it. It's Harris again off. Oh man, has Rasley Harris had a tough time of it sitting at the front of this car in pole position. Got the start ever so slightly wrong, and he's now ended up off track 3 times. Out of turn 8, he put wheels on the dirt. He looped it out in turn number 2, and he's now had a problem in turn 1 as well. Safety car boards are going to be difficult to spot in this very low light. The sun setting here at Swartkops. And yellow flags and safety car boards that are bright yellow in this low sun are not easy to spot. Harris is out the car, and the reason being is I think that car actually caught a light. That's why we've seen that marshal taking a little bit of extra caution to ensure the car is out and hasn't got any flames inside or in the bonnet. There you can see that low sun here in the closing stages of this incredible race day we've had here. Makes it very difficult to see when you're behind the windscreen of a race car. That is for sure, but that is the reason for the safety car. Car on fire. We went straight past the COC's office, and unfortunately Rasley Harris's car is stuck in the kiddie litter. An incident-packed event here, that is for sure, for race 2 in the BMW M Performance Parts Racing Series. Certainly what we weren't expecting, that is for sure, now, is they're going to complete lap 5 under safety car conditions. Portkita ahead of Arie van den Berg, Lorenzo Gauteng, and then they're lining up. And with this concertina effect, it's going to give those cars that were further back on the grid, i.e. the German and Jaguar, a chance to now have a go for a race win. They're currently in 8th and 9th place behind Jones and Baggioni. But we're still under safety car as they go down towards turn 1 where the incident is. They're just taking extra precaution to make sure that car is completely out of flames. Baggioni and Jones, then it's Jaguar and the German. Van Zyl ahead of Hilligen. This is certainly not what they were expecting, I think, from race 2's point of view for BMW's M Performance Racing Series. But it is one of the things that can happen. Brings some a little bit more excitement for the last couple of laps, which are going to be a huge sprint dice out here for the last honours available for this series. I'm still trying to keep heat in the rubber. Seeing Olivier Stigwerk's car there just behind them, then it's Trevor in the roof surgeon BMW. Bits and pieces of the car being put onto the back of recovery 1. These laps all count towards the race finish. So we've had 2 under safety car now. Bringing him to the halfway stage of the race, of course, as well. Lights remain ablaze on this Pretoria North Toyota 86. Looks like we're going to get probably about 2 or 3 laps of race action once they've cleared that BMW of Rasley Harris, the pole man. This field, absolutely amazing to see 36 cars, make that 35 now with Rasley's car on the sideline. But we had 38 that started and 40 that actually arrived here on race weekend, 2 of them having some problems yesterday in the qualifying and practice sessions. And De Gouveia out there in car number 80 is the man you want to be contacting if you want to be getting hold of this racing club to be part of it. Successful racing series that have seen some nice big sponsors involved, and of course now BMW South Africa behind them as well. with the M Performance Parts being the main sponsor for their 2022 campaign. Right, looks like we've got that BMW all sorted out, and they're going to try and remove it from harm's way. Just taking up the strain, and there we go. We'll try and bring it onto the grass before they extricate it into a position that's deemed safe, and then we can go racing again. Where they are right now potentially could mean that we're going to be having about 3 laps of sprint racing to go to finish this one up. And for Fabio Fedetto currently in 4th place, just behind Lorenzo Gauteng. Like we've still got 1 more lap under safety car. Here we go. I've got that car now behind the barrier, and that should be deemed safe to go racing. Just need to ensure that they can remove that safety tow rope, and they brought them to a stop at the grid. Not quite sure why that's happened. I'm not sure why they were bringing them to a stop at the grid. We were still under safety car. But I need to say they've decided that they're going to go and bring them to a full restart here again. I was about to say the same thing there, Paulie, hearing my producer in the background. Fuel could be a problem here. These guys do fuel their cars to within an inch of their lives, realizing that they need to build in to the equation possibilities of stoppages and safety cars, but and with the price of fuel, you've got to be taking that into account as well. But I think not really too much about the price of fuel, but of course the economy of these cars is not what they would be if they were on the road. They are running slightly higher ratios and compressions, etc., to get them to go faster, which means that they burn fuel a lot quicker, even at slow pace. So we'll wait and see if that's going to be a factor that's brought into account. That's possibly one of the reasons they've decided to stop them from circulating, to ensure that they can actually finish this one up. So Raz's BMW out of harm's way. Let's see if we can now go for a restart. Just waiting for Romeo 1 to make its way back to its original position. Jacques and his team, as always, doing an amazing job. Well done there, guys. Thanks to the assistance there from our 3 race circuits combined marshalling association. They're now, of course, based here at Swartkops, but it's Swartkops, Kyle Army and Red Star that combine their efforts for the marshalling that happens here in the northern regions. So I'm looking at the timing monitor as well, Paul, and they've decided to take them 1 lap back and give them 5 laps of racing for this second heat. So it is a full restart here of race 2, and this is the 3rd time they're going to attempt it. Maybe we'll get 3rd time lucky. Renia Smith battling with some cooler air to get in the car. Same thing from Jonesy's point of view, a little bit higher up on the field, and from Davy Olivier. Nothing like a Camel Trophy Land Rover making its way back to its position as well. Helping out with the recovery and also helping to get... Is that another car that has to be recovered, possibly? Yeah, it's Ramsey. Ramsey's car's on the outside of turn 6. So he's going to have to be helped out of the way too. Maybe running into some overheating issues stuck behind the cars at slow pace. These cars are designed to go fast, and with the cool air coming through the radiators, they usually run very small radiators to cut the weight down on the car. So let's see whether or not they can get that one extricated as quickly as possible. That's also one of the reasons they probably stopped the race too. Justin Robertson making his way down there from Big Boss, just giving a heads up there to Jagger, telling him he's got 5 laps still to go. It's like organising committee making their way down as well, just giving the drivers a heads up that they have got 5 laps of racing coming their way. So they're trying to get Lyle Ramsey's car fired up again. Even if they can't get him fired up, at least he'll be able to roll down to pit lane. And there should be enough momentum on that car to get him into the pit lane as he heads down through Kenwood and through turn 7. If it doesn't fire up, of course he hasn't got a far way to go to get to his pit garage here at Swartkops International World of Motoring. They're telling him to get off the track. I think they might be. Yeah, I think that Marshall's going to run out of steam trying to push that car on the grass. It's a lot heavier than they expected. They should have just let him roll down into pit lane. They're now trying to get him out of harm's way, and they're going to have to tow him out of harm's way. Fadafefa has joined us on the live stream as Johan Stolk and Hayley Furry. If you have joined us, apologies here. We have got a little break in proceedings due to a couple of incidents that have happened on track. A car bursting into flames. Driver's okay, but had to be taken out of turn 1, and now we're waiting for Lyle Ramsey's car to be pushed and pulled out of turn 5 and 6's danger area. So is that enough, and is that out of harm's way enough for the COC to deem that we can go racing? We'll wait and see. So Ramsey's hopefully going to be out of harm's way there by the looks of things. Well, a bit of aerial material there. That must be a bit nippy up there, that's for sure. I'm about to say, if you think we're cold down here on the track, up in the air, that might be a little bit colder. Oh, and he has got a big fan behind him as well, so it's making him even colder. All right, here we go. So it's supposed to be 5 laps of action here again for the restart for the 3rd time of BMW M Performance Racing Series. There's a car on the sideline coming out of turn 8. That'll be another concern, I'm sure. Looks like that car that was stuck on the pit apron has got going again. They're trying to get some heat into the rubber now. They've been standing on the grid for a while, so that's going to make it a bit more difficult to get the heat into the rubber, particularly when there's no heat in the tarmac. The sun dropping down rapidly behind us here on the southwestern part of the circuit. see what that man can do about the cars in front of him. Lorenzo Gauteng going to try and catch that 357 of Arie van den Berg. And the lead car, Thomas Potgieter. Well, pace car pulls in. We're going for a restart. And we're going for a restart line astern on this restart as the 91 car starts things out for 5 laps of M Performance Club Racing Series. Now, I'm not quite sure if that was going to be a real start or not, because on a restart they're supposed to hold their pace until they get across the line, but it's Potgieter who just dropped the hammer and got away, trying to keep the pace ahead of that 357 machine of Arie van den Berg. The Queen's in the house and joins me just in time to tell you that there's been big action here in the M Performance Racing Series here. These BMWs have had a tough time of it in the second heat. 3 cars falling by the wayside. There's one of them. You just saw a shot of it in the foreground of the shot there. The car that burst into flames into turn 1 of Rasley Harris. They got that car out of the way, and just as we thought we were ready to go, Lyle Ramsey's car broke up at turn 5. So we've had a bit of an incident-packed race 2 here, and this is the 3rd attempt at the start for the second last race of the day. Potgieter leading things out as they come down the hill into turn 8. G&H Transport Corner has seen a little bit of action as well this weekend, and starting to come through the remnants of lots of dust and dirt on the circuit. And a couple of big oil spills, some great work done by the marshals, as always here at Zwartkops, trying to keep everybody happy, trying to make sure that we can go racing as quickly as possible. A valiant effort there from them to get us back in racing here for the second heat of this BMW race series. Potgieter's got Arie on his tail, looking to try and come through on him. Behind that, you've got a hard charge from Lorenzo Gauteng. He's pulling away from Fedetto. Fedetto's got Loureiro on his tail. Rick Loureiro starting to come through there rapidly. Nice change up here for Jaco Storm. He's come through a couple of cars. Oh, we got a spinner. We got a spinner at turn 1. Turn 1 with a big spinner there, and it's Bagioni. Bagioni stuck on the inside of turn 1. That's a dangerous position to be in. Romeo 1 making his way there rapidly to try and get there. Oh, and another spinner. The leader. Can you believe that? Potgieter's gone out. Potgieter's looped out as well at the top of the hill. Wow, what a race of attrition here for these guys. Everywhere you turn, almost every single corner there's been an incident. Bagioni's front end looks like he's tapped the back end of one of the cars there. And if I'm not mistaken, it might have even been Thomas Potgieter. Possibly the back end of Rick Loureiro as well. Potgieter's got problems. He's trying to get down the hill on the left-hand side on the grass, waiting for the field to go through, and the safety car's been deployed again by the looks of it. Or has it? Just watching, there's lots of debris on the outside of the corners. That's up at turn 5. Another incident possibly up at turn 5 there. I think that might have been between Bagioni and one of the other cars. But as you can see, we have got cars running through there. And has the safety car been deployed? I have to assume it has, because we've got Jacques and his team down there in Romeo 1. So Bagioni's car certainly in harm's way. And I think we're going to be seeing this race finish up under safety car. Trying to tell the drivers to slow it down. Looks like he might have run wide and come onto the inside of the circuit. The safety car is out, and they've picked up on Arie, our leading car. There looks like there's a bit of damage on Arie's car too, though. So I wonder if there might have been a touch there between himself and Potgieter that caused Potgieter to run off. So the lead of these race definitely fighting for honours there. That's the one, and it's red flag. Now, what does the COC do now? We hope that he's going to have to see what's going to happen here, but we never know. So the 357 is going to come to the line again to take up his position on what would be pole position in this race now, for the 4th attempt at a race start here for the M Performance Club Racing Series. All right, they're waving them through. That means possibly the race is done. They've called it. We'll wait and see, get confirmation of that as they peel into pit lane at the end of this lap. But I would say with a red flag coming out, that is going to be the end of this second heat of the BMW M Performance Club Racing Series.